You are listening to the Educated Podcast.
What's cracking? He's unmuted us for the start at least.
Yeah, just trying to keep it PG leading into the podcast because you've come in with some strong anti-woman vibes. Maybe not anti-woman. That's a bit strong.
Not anti
on its own.
I like woman.
I like woman.
One woman.
I don't like woman.
I like woman.
What then? What would you say? What's grindy? Because I found online at my work a equal opportunities video which was quite funny. I feel like I don't know. The woman thing at work in the workplace.
Was it a video of like 6 women trying to lift up a sleeper badly?
No, it was 2 people going through a job, and that it was trying to like explain how their gender doesn't matter compared to what job they're doing.
Right.
And, it was focusing on
the job.
Yeah, it was focusing on not to try and like single out, you know, where I work or what sort of industry or anything, but it's like it was trying to focus on like a man's mind and a woman's mind, and saying that, you know, there is no such thing as a different, like, neither of them think differently. Even though, I don't know, some scientific studies say that, you know, women are what do you call it? Women are more caring, more mothering, more nurturing.
Yeah.
Some scientific studies say that men, like, you know, are better at focusing on sole tasks, not multitasking, blah. But this video was trying to explain how, like, if you're interviewing for a job, you should regard them, as the same. Like, you shouldn't really, on the CV, you shouldn't really see gender, or it shouldn't be an issue or a point.
Yeah.
Right.
And I watched it with an open mind.
I take that with an open mind. I get it to an extent.
But then also I've been listening to Jordan Peterson's new book.
That 12
Ways to
Life. I went into a Jordan Peterson rabbit hole a couple of days ago.
He's a cool guy, isn't he?
Just because he was on Rogan, but before that interview he did on Channel 4 with that woman, and it was just
I never
interesting.
saw that.
Pieced her apart. He did.
No, but he was just
did
very.
come out of that looking like a knobhead.
Yeah, but she's doing her job. That's what we have to all remember.
No, but she wasn't doing it subjectively.
Yeah,
at all. She had an agenda in the questions that she was asking him.
Yeah, but have you got to have an agenda when you have someone on like that?
Yeah, you haven't got to. It's the way she was asking the questions.
The thing is, they're coming on.
So your view is this, and he always had to say, no, that isn't my view. You've got that wrong. There were always aggressive questions that pointed to the answer that she wanted. That he was a sexist, or he was a misogynist, and rather than saying, so what's your view on this?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
She was hyper aggressive when she could have come out looking a lot better if she just subjectively interviewed him, rather than trying to get answers that she wanted out of him.
No, she wanted to try and make him say like some of the classic things that Jordan Peterson has been singled out for saying, which is stuff like, I don't believe in using gender pronouns.
Yeah.
I don't believe that people should be. All right. I'm just trying to say, like, she put him on the spotlight, but you've said this, and he's like, I've already debunked that, or not debunked it, but already like gave my formal. Do you know what I mean? Everyone does like sort of bogs him down in an interview, or bog him down if they're against him. If they're like just wanting to interview him normally, they'll have a conversation. But if they're trying to like belittle him, they'll come at him with all them classics that, you know, that have just been all over the American news or whatever.
It's almost like the fishing for him to say a certain amount of words in a row where they can take that and he comes out sounding.
Oh, so you're saying that women are not equal to men or something like that?
He always has to start with no, I'm not saying that.
His accent's just funny, isn't it?
That's not what I'm about.
He's a fucking class guy, though.
Not what I'm about.
I think I really like his really logical approach to stuff. Yeah. That's the one thing that I think, like, I'll sit there and listen to him and I'll think, he's just using logic at like a speed greater than I can compute it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas I'd just be like, I'd have to think what I thought about it. He's sort of like just going from one logical step to the next. And I guess he's into that stuff. So
yeah, he's into it. I think he's
what does he teach? What exactly?
He's a psychology major clinical psychologist. But I think where a lot of these guys struggle to knock him down is his, like you said, the quickness in which his brain's computing stuff, his articulation, his level-headedness. Like, he's lost his temper in the past, but not to any great extent where you could. It's just, you can imagine if you disagreed with him, you have got a fucking road ahead of you to try and make your point sound better than his point. because he's
even if your point is better than his point.
Yeah,
you wouldn't sound.
He could argue.
No, but
he could argue with someone who's not equipped for the fight that the world's flat, and he'd sound more convincing if he were to put it up in a debate and onto YouTube.
I've also seen him though. You know, what you call it? I've seen him debate with someone and them say something that he then has to assess. Do you know what I mean? Like there was this one. She was like, I don't know, what do you call him? Like African American type girl that was arguing with him about Black Lives Matter, but she wasn't actually like representing the whole of Black. She was just saying her point and opinion. Yeah, and he sort of like singled not in like a way to break what she was saying, but singled her apart from Black Lives Matter and was sort of just like addressing her issues. Yeah. And then he was agreeing with some of the stuff she said that she didn't agree with what he was saying, and he could see why. Do you know what I mean? He was very sort of like methodical about it. Not to say like, oh my god, he's amazing. Yeah. But
I don't think he doesn't have an ego about it. I don't think he's coming from an egotistical point of view. I think that especially with the transgender situation, I think he's coming at it from a genuinely concerned point of view. With the way
he thinks it's like a legit like sickness or something, doesn't he?
I think he thinks it's the start.
No, not being transgender. Just by the way, being
no, he doesn't mean transgender.
The whole virtue signaling.
Yeah,
no, virtue signaling. Explain that to me.
It's the. I think it's the.
Well, it's essentially
virtue signaling is just some.
Just like saying I need
bullshit.
to be
brownie points.
Yeah,
trying to get brownie points off other people's plights.
Yeah.
And what you find is that normally it's white people moaning about white people, or straight people moaning about other people's rights. Yeah. Is normally what happens, and it's a load of people trying to impress other people with different views or struggles or whatever you want to call them. But it's just a load of knobheads normally. Like there's it just annoys me the whole thing with these people have got. You two smiling at me because I couldn't get my words out.
No, I was smiling at him tapping because his fingers hurt.
No, they've got a point to some degree. Like, you shouldn't treat anyone different because they choose to wear a dress.
No.
If they're a bloke.
Yeah.
But then I shouldn't have to memorise 70 different fucking pronouns.
79.
No, well...
It's nearly 80.
The accepted ones are 17 or so, isn't there? There's like 20
Alright, but I shouldn't have to memorise 20 and then ask someone, are you identifying as, and reel off 20 fucking things, and then for them to tell me. And I shouldn't have to open every conversation with, what are you identifying as?
Yeah.
Like,
even today, this second, this hour, this minute, like.
Do you know what I mean? And like people who switch it in between, like,
what are you now?
It's just that's what annoys me. I don't care if you're a bloke that thinks you're a woman, that feels like a woman, that wears a dress, and you want me to call you fucking Kath. Yeah. I couldn't give a shit. I'll call you Kath. And if you really want, I'll say, oh, what's she up to? But other than that, you don't need anything else. There isn't anything else. You're either a man or a woman. You can be a man biologically, a woman biologically. You could be a transgender man or a transgender woman, and everything after that's silly.
Yeah, but the fact that's so already you're accepting about 6 genders there.
I'll just pick 4.
No, because it's a man
or a woman, transgender man or a transgender woman. That's it.
Wanting to be a man and transgender woman to be a woman. So there's 4, right?
That's it.
You can be part, like, the gender can also split down into, like, a guy that associates as a woman but doesn't, like, hasn't, like, gone full op, pre-op.
Right, that's fine.
So there's
I
different
call him a
ones
bloke
there.
until he does something about it. Like, Joe,
you're more of the one that's like, what you want to be called, I will call you within them parameters.
Within reason.
Within them 4, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not...
within reason. If they turned around and
said...
What
if you don't identify as either? Is that not a thing? Like, I'm a boy.
Right.
Yeah. You know me for long enough.
I can vouch for that.
And but I don't want to be a boy anymore, but I also don't feel like a girl. I feel like I'm, just me. How would you accept that?
If you were to legit come up to me and say that, and anyone were to come up to me and say that, I said, I'll address you however I want. But when you're attacked, I think the biggest thing is getting attacked for doing it wrong.
Right.
When the vast majority of people are not educated on this. And
the vast majority of people aren't trying to offend anyone either. That's the
more
thing.
To the point, the vast majority of people identify as a man or as a woman, regardless of sexual orientation, the vast majority of people identify as a man or a woman. So the likelihood of you coming across someone who says, actually, can you address me as a genderless alien, is fucking...
I'm yet to find a person.
Especially in this country. That's why I don't...
Do you know what I've started doing?
In our country.
Do you know what I've started doing? I just say to I call everyone mate.
Mate.
Women that I meet, cheers mate.
I call everyone potential mate.
But then it's easier.
We should mate.
You don't argue, you can't upset anyone then.
Yeah. But I haven't met anyone that's demanded me to change the way I've
I don't think you do
before.
in this corner of the world.
No.
Yeah, I don't think
vast
Cruise
majority of it.
Where have you got to be? Like,
it's the States. It's the States and Canada.
There's a bloke that dresses like a woman that works in TK Maxx.
But
that's the only guy I've seen in Crew doing that.
Oh yeah, he's not kicking up a fuss.
No, I might just say, you're right, mate, when he served me the other day.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know. In an ideal world, you'd have to ask them, like, what?
No,
I mean, to understand.
No, that's not ideal for anyone. That's the problem.
No. My view on it is I genuinely do not give a shit. The only bit that gripes me whatsoever is the whole no biological basis for gender. That does drives
me wild.
Tits up the wall.
What? Well, if you bought a hermaphrodite, that's a different gender.
That's an affliction.
So we're on 5.
No, that's not 5.
Why?
That's a medical condition.
Because that's a medical condition. You don't
Yeah,
get
but
a new gender for being medically ill.
They're one of the lucky few that can float between genders, but they're very, very rare.
Not by choice.
Yeah, and I tell you what, if a hermaphrodite wants to change its gender every other hour, because there's probably about 1,000 of them on the planet, then I'll accept it.
Yeah,
how about that?
If you've got both, you can change your gender whenever you want. No one will give a shit. Because there's a biological basis for that.
I can't, I'm trying to think of a... Oh, yeah. There we go. I was trying to spell hermaphrodite, but I was doing it in that Peter Case sketch, and he goes, spell hermaphrodite. And I'm just
there you go. Just click that question. People also ask.
Office for National Statistics.
I hate wading through this sort of shit, man.
Well, that's why if you go back, and just click the other question, it'll just give you a direct answer. That's that new Google thing.
Is it? Where? What?
So click that. People also ask how many babies are born as hermaphrodites. Click that and it'll just give you an answer.
Comes to about 1 in 1,500 to 1 in 2,000 births.
Born as.
Born as doesn't mean
they live as.
No, but I mean they are from the start. If you're saying that there's no biological, or you dispute that
massively.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think a lot of the time they are women, but a penis has developed.
And then they just lob it off and it's fine.
No, whoa, this is so... That's so brandish. That's crazy.
They do.
They do.
That's genuinely what
because they haven't had time to develop testosterone or nothing like that. So literally, they just... if they've got...
No, I feel... Well, is it the parents' choice? I feel like they should be given a choice. You hear stories of people that are born at birth, are born with one or the other. The parent decides which way they want to go. Normally, cut the penis off.
The thing is with...
And then they grow up thinking they're one, and then they get told when they're about 14, 15, not you're adopted, or your dad's ran off, or whatever, or...
You're both.
Yeah, you were born as both, and God, that's got to be fucking crippling.
Yeah,
imagine your parents turn around to you now and say, you used to have a coochie, but we got it sewed up. And then you were like, what?
Yeah, but then
and he's looking for scars. Punani,
open it up.
No, I think the main thing is that they're born with ovaries, so it's easier, and I think it's more straightforward to lob off the penis because then there's nothing else kicking around, and you've got ovaries to
remove ovaries.
But if you can't, but they won't. I don't imagine they would remove the ovaries because taking the surgery and taking ovaries out of a baby that haven't developed, I don't think it's fair.
Yeah, but then they might leave them till they're a child and then do it, or. Do you not think they should be asked?
No.
Or you just literally think they just, go on the
shop
block?
Let medical professionals make medical decisions.
Yeah, but they're also human beings.
Yeah, but that's a medical decision.
I don't
like them Jewish guys that cut off babies' foreskins.
Right, so how hard is it going to be then, right?
And stuff like that.
Wait there, so you grow up, right? So what age can you
that's
make
just
this
I circumcised you because I thought that
No,
it was
because that's
cleaner.
not a medical procedure, that's nonsense.
It was consisted as a medical...
but it's nonsense. It's been proven as nonsense.
Yeah, I know it's nonsense now in this modern... Maybe way back when we didn't really have the facilities to clean ourselves as much as we do. We didn't have all them, didn't go through that whole period where we were like, oh, we've sort of conquered everything. We've got food. Maybe we'll just focus on washing ourselves for a couple of 100 years.
Right, but what I'm saying is there's probably a medical reason that they do that. I'd assume that it's so they don't produce loads of estrogen and loads of testosterone as they grow up, and therefore have some real fucked up things going on in the head.
I guess you're making a snap decision, aren't you? Like the snap decision of, if they were born with just like some sort of limb that's disfigured or something, or they, like there's stories where twins, like Siamese twins, have been separated and they actually wanted to stay together, or like against their will they were separated at like a younger age or stuff.
I think it's one of those. It's like it's a bit like men discussing whether abortion should be legal or not. I think it's one of those things that you can't really have an opinion on if you're not the one going through it, because we're not going to come out with an answer. It's like, no, don't chop it off or chop it off. And
no, but I think you should leave doctors to be doctors.
No, I don't think that's because imagine
but decisions doctors make now.
Imagine having to make that decision.
What would they be in like 100 years' time?
What would you do?
And you've met medical professionals around children and whatnot. Like a doctor on any old day. I know they're they're smarter than any of us.
Right.
But sometimes they don't make the right decisions. Sometimes they don't spot the right things, and sometimes it's just
sometimes they're not.
I just think think right. How long do you leave if you leave a child to grow to what 15, 16? You got to let them be an adult now to make a decision, because legally they can't make a decision to have an operation as a kid.
Yeah, but they can make a decision and then you can vouch for it as an adult.
No, but you've got to wait till they're 16.
No, you can't.
Well, because
they can turn around and say it about 9 years old. Like you could explain it to them, have a full-on conversation.
Or they could get to 9 and just be like, well, I don't understand what you mean by cutting my one bit off because I'm used to having both now.
Yeah, but you have to explain. And then if they want to live with both, then they want to live with both.
Yeah, but then what I'm saying is then the hormone imbalance could fuck them up.
Yeah, but also...
That's why doctors make choices for long-term things.
I think he's probably right in that there's a chance of having hormone imbalance.
If you've got loads of testosterone but loads of estrogen as well, it could fuck all sorts of stuff up.
There's also a chance that it might not... It's not science, but there could be a chance that maybe one or the other doesn't develop properly, or... Yeah. There probably
I think
is
they should be given
reasons.
A choice. If I was born with both, I'd want a choice.
But saying that without knowing the real medical afflictions that it could cause.
But you'd have them explained to you, wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly. So none of us. So that's what I mean.
But then I don't think you're old enough until you're 16 to start making choices about medical decisions that could affect the rest of your life. You should be really an adult. So then you've got to leave him till adulthood dealing with this weird, which is weird for them to deal with.
Well, they got then health things, yeah. So what if a child, for instance, has cancer?
Right,
which is obviously horrible, harrowing. They don't want to have chemo anymore, but their parents want them to have chemo. Where do you stand on that? They don't want to physically put themselves
if
through
they're old
it
enough
anymore.
to say they don't want to do it.
How old's old enough though? He's saying 16.
No, as in like when they said I don't want to do this anymore.
So a 9-year-old child, I don't want chemo anymore. I don't like it. It doesn't make me feel nice. But you make that decision over them because
you've got more wisdom in the world. And if the doctors are saying, look, they're responding well to this chemo, and they're probably going to get through this, then you've got to make the harsh decision to go, you're going to have to put up with some shit right now because we're going to get you through this in the long run.
Yeah.
Because you're an adult and you've grown.
This adult thing is very squirrely.
It's very squirrely, but you should be wise enough by the time you've had children to make that hard decision sometimes.
I don't know, anyone can have children.
I know, but what I'm saying is...
And I don't want to pretend that I'm smarter or not smarter than anyone in this world, but there's some people that you see, that you see, and you're just like, do you even?
But what I'm saying
life,
is,
bro. I'm joking.
What I'm saying is,
terrible thing.
Do you even parenthood?
If you really break it down to a smaller scale, as a child, there's times where all of us, and I'm really simplifying this because cancer obviously is a giant thing to be talking about for us idiots. Yeah, what I'm saying is...
No, but I just mean like an actual...
But what...
I was trying to represent...
Yeah, I know, but my point is, when you were a kid, there'll been plenty of times where you've woke up, don't want to go to school, and you feel a little bit ill. Tiny bit. And
you don't make that decision, but this is talking about...
No, but you sit there and go, I feel really bad, trying to get the day off school. Now, imagine going through chemo as a kid, where you're thinking, this feels like shit. You'd be doing anything to stop your parents doing it, even if they knew it was saving your life.
Yeah.
Because you don't fully understand the fucking how fragile life is at 9, and you'd be sitting there going, I just want this to stop. But your parents can look long term because they've had a longer time on the planet and go, yeah, you're gonna have a shit 8 till 10 is going to be shit for you.
Yeah.
But when you get to 10 and you're better, over the next 2 years, you're going to look back and thank me that we went through this.
Yeah. And then some kids will turn around and say, like, ones that have been, have got to like a certain age with a disability, and then sort of look back and gone. It's very sort of like situational. Do you know what I mean? Like someone that's growing up with a disability might say maybe it wasn't worth it.
No,
looking back on it, and you can't take that away from them. But I guess the parents got to make the most conscious decision there and then. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking rough, man.
I don't envy anyone who's got to make decisions like that.
No,
including
That's what scares us getting into fucking being a dad or being, like being a parent in general. It's fucking.
Ezra had a cold last night. I didn't sleep.
Your son had a cold last night, and you were just what, like
worried.
Yeah.
I don't know what a cold does to a baby, but I read about it. It's fine. Net mum's got me. Net mum's got my back.
Net mum. But I don't know. I feel like I would want to know. Like I would want all the. Maybe you'd just be like, yeah, they chopped it off and that was it. But like I'd most likely be like,
well,
I would have preferred to have had that choice. And maybe that's just a personality sort of thing.
I mean, it's something I'd never had a choice on, but it's also something that, like, when I was a kid, I only found out recently that I was supposed to be a twin.
Oh right, wow.
But see, so I only found that out recently. But there's nothing I could have done about that. But it's still weird to know that there was supposed to be another one of me. Do you know what I mean?
The world would have imploded, I think. Like.
Do you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, like, if I'd never found that out,
that would have been too much noise in one room.
It wouldn't have fucked me up. And if now I've found out, it hasn't. But I think I'd honestly think I'd rather find out now, say, as an adult, that I was born a hermaphrodite.
Yeah.
Then I'd rather find out as a 9-year-old and that I've got to make a decision on which part of my body you chop off.
No, we don't have to make a decision, but are just consciously gonna inform you when you feel that you're responsible and old enough that this is what's happened when you were born. I don't know. Yeah, maybe you just go right. We're just gonna put all the chips on them being masculine and being a boy, and we'll have them be a boy.
Well, what I'd say is,
you probably like again. I don't think we can Google like say what happens if a person grows up as a hermaphrodite. There might be serious issues.
I'd hesitate to guess, or I'd have a guess that the doctors.
They were completely different things.
Yeah, no, I know.
I'd hesitate. I would have a guess.
I was looking for this. Anyway,
he ain't got that Jordan Peterson articulate.
No, but I
doesn't know.
Hazard a guess is what I was trying to say.
All right, that's different than hesitate.
Yeah, no, but it's a phrase, isn't it? And I got it wrong.
Was looking for.
There's probably when they have people like hermaphrodites born, they probably look at them and they do tests and figure out which they're more likely to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's more developed?
And which is more likely to make them happier?
I mean, if he's got a piece on him,
which
and
one
he's keeping it.
Whoa! Serious thing here. Which one do they piss out of? Does it just spray out of both?
I don't know. Maybe they'd have a look ultrasonically, see whether.
Yeah, they probably see which one's connected.
Yeah,
and then
which
just
one
get rid of
the urethra's going through. And if they got two
seriously, and then they probably just get rid of the other one.
Or would it be like when you inhale and like you're smoking or vaping and you can breathe out your nose and mouth at the same time?
That's what I mean. Is it just like whoa, like on the toilet seat and tucking it down?
Well, I imagine if you're born with both, you're not born with both and balls. So most of the time,
I'm sure you could be. Yeah, I'm sure you could.
I don't fucking know. Can we get off hermaphrodites because I don't know a thing about this.
It's not my field of
expertise. Because if you're born, if they don't have the balls, then it doesn't make a difference. You just have a faux penis like a hyena.
Yeah, like a female hyena.
Yeah.
Faux penis. I remember Rory used to jib us on this podcast about who was it? Someone. Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
I just realised looking at the webcam how fucking bold I am. Jesus Christ!
I just said to him,
I've had it so short, man. I've got it's actually shining. This is not good.
Just bit your head.
I like having my hair shaved short and then just like saying to my dad, like, I've got hair, but I choose to cut it off. You know what I mean? Unlike you bald cunt.
I can grow this if I want to. How's that make you feel?
I could have luscious locks. Once did. I was just mocking you.
You did have very luscious locks at one point.
Yeah, man bun. I was trying to tell the woman in the hairdressers, and she was like, "I don't believe you."
I don't believe what. By the way, this does grow.
Believe it or not, that's how you've got a job.
I feel like if you have a shaved, if you have a shaved head, though, I think you're perceived as being a bit like of a chav or whatnot.
No,
you don't think so?
I think if you have very, very short sides, a little bit of hair and wet look gel. It gelled down.
No,
that's the
know.
chav look, gelled down with wet look.
It's got to be wet look like Brill cream.
Like Devlin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You heard about Devlin earlier. That's like a second. That's like.
I listened to Game Over the other day.
We've got a double Devlin reference in one day.
So aggressive.
I feel like I'm gonna have to listen to some later. Yeah. So I don't know. I think I'm getting judged. Bald people. I feel like I'm part of this bald empire. That
You're not bald. Jinx, you owe me a soda.
I need to. What do you call it? I need to fight back. Need to fight back against everyone that's shaming bald people. It's not our fault we don't have hair.
Fuck you. There's probably bald people.
Look at him virtue signaling to bald people. Trying to grow the fan base.
Bald rights. Fuck you. Put the sign down.
Fuck you. We don't.
Speaking
we
of
get sunburn on our heads.
Have you seen the feminist that got into a fisticuffs with the Irish bloke?
No.
Yeah.
Feminist fights Irish bloke, because this is what we're googling.
No, don't
now.
put Irish bloke. Put
Irish fella.
Feminist hits man. Man fights back.
Or feminist fights Fenian fella.
It was.
I mean, you might not be Fenian, but
I did put Irish guy, and I don't know if it.
It's the worst knockout
Is it this one?
so far of 2018.
Oh, it's September 17, so no. Is that one? Moment transgender group and feminist civilist clash in Hyde Park.
Hyde Park. No, that's it.
No.
No,
So
no,
feminists.
no,
what?
No.
Punches Irish man.
No,
Punches.
don't put the Irish.
Come on in.
That's not the video I said. So feminist hits man, man hits back.
Hits man, man hits back.
That's
No
what the video was
He
called.
is
That's what the
proper
video was
caveman
called.
in it today, isn't it? Feminist hit man, man hit back.
I tell you what I'll do.
You have to send it to me, or else we're going to be scrolling. One man versus the feminist. God, I love.
Have
YouTube.
you seen it?
I love the internet.
While I find videos,
Mm.
have you seen that grid girls now have been banned and ring girls?
What is Grid Girls?
Grid girls on like the
The ones that people
The
go
F1.
to Formula 1 and get photos with them.
Oh yeah,
Like monster girls at the UFC.
Banned. Big girls are banned.
yeah
That's the only reason I watch F1. What with the umbrellas?
go to all.
No.
They've got rid of them. They've got rid of them. They've got rid of the darts ones.
Oh yeah, I heard this on Talksport.
It's a step in the right direction. Oh gee.
Yeah, but it's by Susie Wolf.
Yeah, I know. I don't know who Susie is.
Yeah,
Well, she's
hit back because I'm not trying to assume things, but I think she's female.
She said, "I'm not offended. I wasn't offended, but it's a step in the right direction."
As in my position as a female within motorsport,
those
for
girls-
over 25 years,
wait,
the
yeah,
use
she-
of grid girls wasn't something that offended me.
Right. Okay.
What
But
you've
it's a
just
step
done
in
is
the right
put a load
direction.
of innocent girls out of work.
Yeah. Well, I retweeted a girl today who tweeted that I've lost my job to feminists. It's all supposed to be about equality
That's bollocks.
and equal rights, and feminists have ruined my career.
Yeah, I thought
and I
feminists-
enjoyed my job.
I thought feminists were against slut shaming. Like,
Yeah,
slut shaming was
thought
one
that
of
was
them
one
things
of
that
the-
they were like.
I don't even think it's. This,
I don't
this
think
is,
that's. Slut,
No, but it's
I don't
not
think
slut
that's
shaming. I
slut
wasn't.
shaming.
I didn't say this was slut shaming.
I'm sorry, mate.
Rewind. I think you want to assess what you've just said to me. Accuse me of. No, I'm just saying that feminists were against women being women. There you go, then. Slut shaming was just like I listen to Guys We Fuck, that podcast, and they're not sluts. I'm not saying that, but they're. You have to always re-justify yourself.
Stop
don't you?
justifying yourself.
I don't want to be. I don't want to live
Those
my
sluts,
life like
They
this.
started by saying, "This is the anti-slut shaming podcast."
Yeah. So, but it doesn't mean th're sluts.
and talk about a lot
Guys,
of
they
shit.
fucked.
Yeah.
But
So these couple of hoes on this podcast, what do they say?
they just on
They were
about
on.
hoeing.
They were on Rogan's.
Yeah,
Not long ago.
They're on about pure hoeing.
It's Christmas time all year round.
Ho ho ho. No, I don't think feminism was meant to represent like you use your body to whatever. Like it's not even hoeing. Like it's just women are. I don't know how to put it without being
How can you call
offensive.
that?
How can you
call that big fat model empowering and
Yeah,
not call them
true that.
the same thing?
True that.
They
I
didn't
can
get in work.
What
out
it
of being-
is it's the feminist movement is full of unfuckable chicks that right no I'm telling you right now
They're all like,
Gasping air.
I
There's gonna
hope
be no
so.
air left in this room.
they're full of fucking women that couldn't get a shag with fucking money.
Even I wasn't going to take it this
No,
far.
I am.
But
With money hanging out their pants,
I'll
right?
weigh in
And then
though.
they fucking spend the days slamming other like pretty girls. They're just upset that these pretty girls get attention for being pretty.
Yeah,
Because they've never had that in life, so now they're blaming girls for the problems of women. They're fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, and she sat behind the counter of Monsters Incorporated.
Hello, boys.
You forgot to do your paperwork.
I don't think she was that feministic.
Right.
What was her name?
No,
Roz?
just not about Roz. That's what these feminists like.
No, but I think
Big trolls complaining about
Fuck
women's
me.
rights.
No, but
off,
some
off
of them-
the air, off the air.
Oh, fuck them.
some of them aren't unfuckable and are all like not saying some are shit. I like you have to seriously think about what you
No,
you can't
you
just
don't.
speak
This
your
is the
mind,
problem.
can you? You have to
No,
sit here
fuck
and go,
it.
if I say A, B and C, yep, that's not going to dig me into a hole. Right, I don't think that I don't think that that's the main issue. I think there's a lot of that, but I also think that it's just women that women that seem to think they're helping the cause or whatever this cause is.
The thing is, the cause is so hypocritical that it doesn't make any sense.
They're trying to inflate the gender pay gap. I just got it.
Like
Now some women are earning even less money now because they can't work at Formula 1 and they can't work at the darts and right.
The darts, them women
bang,
from the
darts are gone.
They're not
Formula
banned
1,
that.
yeah,
They're not banned
at
the
the
darts.
Phil
No
Taylor
chance.
retired the same day.
No, no chance are they banned at the darts. That makes Christmas.
Phil Taylor's going to hire them all just to walk around his house.
Yeah, Phil Taylor said, if I don't get my bitches, you don't get my darts.
Are we going to lose all like women that
No, ring girls are next. I'm telling you right now, ring girls are next. That's what they'll be after.
European nations to keep darts walk on girls as UK bows to pressure from PC
Go on,
Brigade?
Kelly Brook. Look at that. Kelly Brook, attractive woman, fucking bashes everyone because they're doing this shit.
Kelly Brook defends.
See what I mean?
darts
Attractive
girls and
woman
bosses
doesn't give a fuck what other
came.
attractive women do.
Snowflakes. Yes, they are snowflakes.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't
I'm-
like the sun though, but
And bang on. Attractive women don't give a fuck what other attractive women are doing with the time.
no, that's that women empowering thing. I like going through Instagram and
Wait.
looking at women. Yeah, true. But also seeing ones that go on about how, and even if it's just normal girls, you know, like people you've known from school or in the area, and they go on about like just putting something along the lines of, you know, what is the saying? Like women
Girl
promote
power
other women
hashtag.
or women they don't shame other women. Women do, you know what I mean? They say like I'd like if we were women.
Female empowerment.
Just imagine if we were women. Don't
Let's
play
do
with
it.
yourself quite yet.
Let's do it.
And you put a nice selfie on the internet. I'd like say, oh yeah, my girl is, you know, pretty hot. Share a photo or something. And girls can do that. Guys can't do that. I couldn't share a photo of Aaron and say like, this is squad goals.
Yeah.
And then like aubergine emoji. But women can do stuff like that. And I think it's pretty cool that a woman could sit there, or a girl, and I mean, most of them are also attractive, so maybe that is the reason. But, I mean, if there was a load of unattractive girls and they were all bigging each other up, I mean, there's levels, you know what I mean? A load of fours are looking at that going, yes, I'm a four as well, and I want fours to big me up so I can big up other fours.
Yeah.
I just think women should, you know what I mean? They should be on the mind of whatever a woman wants to do. Like Kelly Brook's saying, like, if these girls want
Nobody's
to earn
forced
money
them
by,
girls to do
you know what I
that.
mean? They're not being degraded really. No one at darts is like going, "Why you slag?" and like putting money in their fucking dress or something. They're dressed quite.
Mate,
They have the dancers as well. Like, would they get rid of them?
Even if they were putting money in the pants,
They're in
mate,
tight clothes, holding umbrellas.
The problem here isn't this. The problem is that you stopping
I look like an egg.
you're stopping women from
It's your own
doing.
fault.
I know.
You're stopping grown adults from making decisions on their own lives based on what you're offended by.
Sorry, I left that up instead of people seeing us.
But do you know what I'm saying? Like you can't just all get upset about something that's not It's not hurting anyone. The ring girls aren't hurt. The F1 drivers aren't hurt. The fans of the sport aren't hurt. Nobody's hurt by those girls being there.
No.
And to be honest, I don't watch F1, so I couldn't give a shit if they're there or not, really.
It's the second
what
most boring sport ever.
What annoys me is that you're literally taking paychecks out of people's pockets.
Yeah. Are you
for
gonna
your
get?
stupid movement.
Are you gonna get rid of boxing ring girls, like MMA ring girls. You're going to get rid of all that stuff.
It'll all be gone. Eventually, you won't allow.
I don't think the UFC will adhere to it.
Or do you have boxing ring guys and transgender boxing ring people?
I'd take boxing ring guys.
In fairness, I wouldn't. Do you know if I went to an event, I wouldn't even be annoyed if when the women fought, they had blokes walking around the cage.
No.
Wouldn't bother me in the slightest.
No.
Couldn't give a shit.
For round one.
Do you know what I mean?
Miguel from...
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Miguel's just waving at the camera next to Brittany.
Just to take the piss, they have like a proper unattractive slob of a man, like in topless, a big
in a mankini.
Yeah. Strut round the cage like.
No, but in fairness, I wouldn't. I honestly wouldn't give a shit if they
Is
did
it that Walker's advert or what? When that guy's like training and it looks like he's going to become a boxer and then he's just a ring boy.
Oh no, I haven't seen
What
it.
advert's that?
Yeah, I've seen the advert actually.
That's hilarious.
And then he proper works it round. At the end of it, he's like working it round the cage. You know what I
See,
mean?
do you think in like 20 years people are going to like show that advert and they're going to be like, oh my god, they were savages. The way they profiled.
I think it's going to go the other way.
You think the pendulum's going to get so far one way and then just come all the way back?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we'll be slapping our bitches and keeping them in kitchens.
No, well, I think it's going to be like that.
Well, I think
we need a happy medium, people.
We're fighting against what a lot of it is fighting against like natural selection and instincts.
Whoa.
No,
we are.
No. I think the main problem is they're not looking for equality; they're looking for superiority. I've said this before.
Whoa, Aaron's bringing up the big words.
He's right, though.
Yeah, because the biggest one with the gender pay gap is all the different reasons that we spoke about before on where that comes from, and the only way to fix that, to make it 50-50, in reality, is for women to be paid more for the same fucking job.
Yeah.
And then it levels up.
Yeah.
In a lot of professions.
I completely agree. If there's two people working the same job, they should earn the same money.
Yeah.
That's, you know what I mean?
And that is what
that's
happens.
That's a forgiven.
That is what
But
happens in 90% of fucking companies.
Well, you can't just spout them
but
facts.
It's the amount of men working there versus the amount of
you would
women
hope. And then
there.
Jordan Peterson, in one of his arguments on that Channel 4 thing, because I don't want to just repeat what people are saying that are smarter than me, but...
Just repeat away, mate.
He said that men devote their lives to, because some women do devote their, like that FTSE 100. Is it only 3 women-owned companies that are in the top in the FTSE 100, whereas like the rest are like 90s. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that does sort of say that it's like a man-driven environment. I hated when she was there. Like, would you think that business needs to get a bit more feminine then? And I was like, well, business just does business. And whatever runs. Do you know what I mean? We've seen that with everything.
It's the personality types that succeed.
Yeah,
it's not necessarily gender that succeeds.
No.
And you can say that the I didn't agree with the things where he was saying masculine qualities and feminine qualities and stuff like that. I think it's
just business qualities.
The
You know what I
thing
mean?
is,
like things that sell.
The thing is,
that guy that sat there with Amazon and was like, "I'm gonna sell books on the internet." If a woman had done that. Took them steps, it still would have been Amazon, and I don't feel like anything that he did would have been different if a woman was doing it. But there's no
Amazon
woman that
first
was
started. You wouldn't have fucking known if it was a man or a woman.
There's just no woman that was driven like that, like he was. There was no other man that was driven like he was. It was just him. Yeah.
Right, if you go down to like the base level, like let's go to the most stereotypical job for a woman and a bloke, yeah?
Okay.
So we're going...
No, what stereotypical job they could both do or separate?
No, I'm just saying, on average...
You're going to throw stereotypes right now.
Yeah, so what... No, yeah, I am. So what I'm saying
I'd
is...
agree there are some.
No, so let's say... what I'm going to say is there's
loads more men in construction.
There's loads of female-run businesses. Loads, right? But what I'm saying is here that... Let's say you've got a bloke and a woman and they've both just got GCSEs, they've never gone to college, university, there was no real thought gone into their career as a youth, right?
As a youth.
Yeah, so one of them's gone and got an apprenticeship in a hairdresser's, the woman has, and this bloke's gone and got an apprenticeship on a building site.
I don't agree with the hairdressers.
Why?
Yeah, that's very...
No, we should find a better example.
Why?
Because there's shitloads of lads hairdressing.
Yeah, but that's for... It's normally men doing men's haircuts.
No, it's really...
men do women's hair.
Yeah, no, but not as... There's normally a barber... Anyway.
I like how, like...
I'd go with beauty.
I like how
beautician.
There wasn't...
Yeah, why? We're arguing about nothing here.
In my college, there wasn't one lad on the beauty course, so we'll go with that.
Right, okay, we'll go beautician then, right? So there's this woman goes and gets the apprenticeship, she learns to do nails, eyebrows, all the other shit. This bloke goes to learn to be a sparky or a bricklayer, right? Then they both pass out, they work a year, and then they both go, do you know what, I'm going to go it alone.
Yeah.
Right? So this girl goes and opens a beauty salon. This bloke goes and opens a building firm as a brickie. Yeah. Right? What I'm going to say is, normally, right, so say you're a bricklayer, you're really good, you're a beautician, and you're really good, but you're not world class. Like, I'm not talking about outliers here, I'm talking about the average bloke that's a good builder and the average woman who does a good set of nails.
Yeah.
Right, so this woman's charging 25 quid an hour, basically, on average, for the treatment she's knocking out. Yeah. This builder is charging upwards of 200-300 quid a day for being a good brickie. Yeah. Right? So, but then he can make massive profit on, like, materials and other shit that isn't made in another industry. So you extend just by having women-owned businesses.
I feel like go on.
What I'm saying is that women and men both own businesses, but the industries that a lot of them get into, just on average, one pays higher than the other if done correctly. They could both be run perfectly, but I'd hazard a guess that if a really good construction company with like 5 lads working for him would make more money per week than a really good beautician with 5 girls working for her.
Nah, because if you've got like a top beautician, like the
because you're gonna go
MUA beauticians that go and do like celebrities' weddings.
Yeah, but I'm not on about that.
Yeah, but you said like really good.
Really good. So that's at that level of 5 people.
Levels. Yeah, you could get 5 people that could run a world-class beautician like company. I feel like if you try and single it down to the molecular level, you are literally, you're going to come to hurdles where you cannot compare them anymore. Yeah. You can look at 2 people in the same job, and then we'd always say if they're the same skill level, same driven, blah blah blah, then they should be paid the same.
Yeah, they should.
And then you look at 2 people that go in different industries, like you could say, you know what I mean, hairdressing pays less than construction, yes, but then also hairdressing can pay a lot more than construction in some cases.
Yes, I know, that's what I'm saying.
And then like beauty can pay a lot more than...
But I'm saying we're taking averages here. And the average builder earns more than the average hairdresser.
I don't...
Yeah, and there's more men building than there is building than beautician. There's more men as a builder than earning a little bit more on average than women as beauticians.
I don't think it's the industry that dictates. I think I do agree with your premise. I just think the examples, because we're working at a fast pace there a little bit, could potentially be a little bit flawed.
I know, because you could be a brilliant. You could be doing the makeup on Corrie and making bare money.
The examples to use, like again, Jordan Peterson saying, is the career choices. I just think that those examples can be a little bit skewed. So if you look, what they say is the amount of men doing dangerous jobs, the amount of people doing dangerous jobs, the amount of people doing jobs where they work excessive hours, like a bricklayer can do exactly the same. Whereas, say a beautician, you're limited to your
9 to 5.
To your shop opening times and all that kind of thing. That's completely plausible. But like there's no women who there isn't a single woman who I work with who is doing the same 12-hour night shifts that I am. That's just from our experience. You'll have the same, Josh will have the same. And I've never seen a man doing someone's eyebrows. Men and women do make different career choices. Again, it seems to be a really triggered subject, but women choose to go and look after the kids. Like you take Josh, who was discussing last week and the week before, his maternity and paternity agreement with Lucy. Lucy's taking far more time off than Josh is. And that's the case in... I have never met anyone where it's the other way around. Ever.
I've met one bloke because his missus was basically an investment banker, right? So and he was a tree surgeon.
There you go. So there's a perfect
and
example.
It just made more sense for her to go back to work quicker because of the money difference.
But money there driven, is so many reasons why, on average, men earn more than women, and I don't think the vast majority of the time it comes down to the gender. I'd say
it's very easy for us to sit here, those 3 blokes,
it's not that easy. It's 3 blokes who sit here with people. We work with mainly men, and those men mainly make a lot of money. And I'm guessing that quite a few of those people have wives who potentially don't work or have at least had a long time on maternity leave if they've had kids. But there are women who don't do that, and I've also worked with women who don't do that.
The industry, right, here's one for you though. The industry my girlfriend's in, Shireen's in, if she gets all the qualifications, she can earn more money than me. So,
it's normal.
Yeah. And see, what I'm saying is, it doesn't bother me. Like, the whole thing of, like, this whole feminist movement will claim that men are scared for women to earn more than them and it ruins your masculinity. I couldn't give a shit.
There are men like that.
Yeah, there is, but
I think I'm a little like that.
I couldn't give a shit if she earns more than
You're
me.
just too alpha, though.
He's just over there stoking a fire, shouting comments at us. But
women no earn more than me. I make fire.
But no, honestly, it wouldn't bother me if she was earning more than me.
No,
not at all. And like, there's plenty of women that earn more money than me, so it's just.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the thing. I feel like you should. If we looked at this objective, if we took our genders away, right. I feel like we'd come to a conclusion where we would say it should be a bit fairer, but there's not really much we can do about it without like dissecting every single little bit down. I don't think you're ever going to understand
it. It is fair, though.
it.
It's fair if they do the same job.
Yeah.
It is fair. There's no...
Yeah.
If a woman turned up tomorrow as a tree surgeon on our site,
yeah,
and she went and spoke to our boss and said, what are the rates to be a tree surgeon on the railway, he'd tell her what we were all getting paid, and that's what she would be paid if she could do the job.
Yeah.
Right? Now that if she's got all the qualifications and we needed an extra pair of hands on site, and a woman turned up with the CV and said, here's all my qualifications, and our gaffer took her on, she'd be paid exactly the same as me. And that's just...
Like I said, I think that is the case nowadays the majority of the time.
I honestly don't think there's a gender pay gap at all anywhere. I just think people make different choices.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
based on the personality.
That's the be all and end all of it.
So then you're saying that like women have a set personality that
it's really
being that woman off Channel
4. It's a really touchy subject, but I don't see why it is. I think the women who are making those arguments, like that woman, like he said from Channel 4, like he said, she's got personality traits that have made her a success of what she's doing, which by and large, the statistics that he regurgitated that I can't remember now, is why she's an exception.
Yeah.
With a general personality traits to a gender.
Yeah.
So there are women like that, just the same as there aren't men like that. I know shitloads of lads who don't have any motivation, any form of aggression, blah, blah, and they suffer because of it.
Yeah. You don't think women...
They suffer in the career because of it. They don't get as far in the career because of it.
I do agree on the point that he was saying on there as well, where he said that men will always be like, you know, I want to pay more, where can I earn more, blah, where women are very sort of...
They want an atmosphere.
Women can be agreeable, more
like
agreeable.
There are a larger percentage of people...
And I was explaining this to my other half. She was talking about a situation that she had in a job or whatever, where a girl was really just trying to keep the peace instead of, you know, being very forthcoming in what she wanted from maybe her career or a set situation. And I feel like that's, especially being around like my mother, who I saw as like an amazing person, and I thought like, when I heard stories about how she was getting treated at work by some people in certain jobs and different women, so it was women managing women, I was sort of like, now you want to really you need to stand up for say something. And she's more like, no, I'm just going to leave because she's having a hard time with this and this is going on here with that. And I was sort of like, if that was my old man, my old man's the sort of person that they unveil a new product at his work and he'll stand up and go, yeah, well, what about you got rid of rich tea biscuits at our brew time, and like we all want our rich tea back. Rich tea. Do you know what I mean? So like, is that different? You have the militant style. Where I work, we have like militant style fucking union men. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, do you get them women? I don't know. Women have them sort of.
But you do.
But not every woman like that.
Not as often.
Also, they're not in the industries that have those sorts of like, because your industry as well sort of breeds those feelings.
Yeah.
So like, you know, when you're like a boots on the ground worker labourer type guy, and you're there sweating your bollocks off and carrying heavy shit around and moving stuff and hitting things with an hammer, and then you see some twat in like pristinely clean work gear with a clipboard, not doing anything.
I've never had to wash mine.
But do you know what I mean? Those you get angry at like that sort of breeds those union blokes where you're going like, they've got it fucking good. Why can't we all have it good? Whereas if you're in an office situation where everybody goes in clean and goes home clean, and the hardship of your day might be mental, it might well be very taxing mentally.
Yeah.
But the majority of your hard labour is thinking about things and carrying bits of paper around.
Typing's pretty heavy, bro.
No, I'm not just saying, but like the truth is, it's hard to drum up a union support. Like when you're clean and warm and got a brew whenever you want it. Whereas it's easier to drum up that sort of support where you're all filthy and you're looking at some tosser that isn't going, well, why aren't they doing what we're doing? Like, you know what I mean?
I seen the best argument about that on site once. A guy digging holes refuses to dig a hole. So why isn't this guy doing it? And it just regurgitates. He just fires back at him with all of his qualifications and how much time he spent in uni, and then went, fucking dig.
Yeah. I needed to memorise something like that. But I think people that I work with, I may be that clipboard guy sometimes, but people I work with know that I get stuck in when I can as well, which is...
That's a mugs game.
No, but then to see that...
I don't know. I feel like... I don't want to make sweeping statements because I don't want people to just trust me, and I'm also very conscious of this social, like we've had at work, we've had a massive like social media push, like anything you say on social media regarding your work or regarding, do you know what I mean, like you identify the company or identify whatever, you can be like, it can be brought forward in work and it can affect you, and it's been drummed into us now so much that I feel like I even want to talk about work. I don't feel like, sometimes I sit at work and I think, I need to delete the podcast. I need to delete every episode. I need to wash my hands of it. I need to burn the computer. And I need to just, because if I lose my job because of a hobby or something like this, for something I said in like a select moment that you could go write on paper, sit me down at a tribunal and say, you said X, Y, and Z. You were clearly, you were in, you know what I mean? You were in employment with us right now, and you were clearly, referencing this and that situation in your employment.
Like you are right now.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And when you read something like that, when I say a sweeping statement or something daft, do you know what I mean? Like the header, you hosted a podcast that said feminism was left in 2000. Are you not progressive? Are you not progressive with the company line? I don't know. I'm scared that I'm going to end up losing my job over this or something I post on Twitter.
I honestly don't think
or
it's
something I retweet, or
I think you're right in terms of the social media.
You need to think about your I've
experienced it, but just taking this podcast as an example, I think one of the biggest differences is, and I know we see a lot of it on the internet because the world is kind of one now with its fucking discussions, because you can keep in touch with anyone, anywhere, anytime. But I think specifically in this country, it is not a movement that is being pushed to the level that it is by our transatlantic cousins.
No.
At all. I don't think it's anywhere near as pushed over here. I think it is pushed, but not to the point where there are... Not to the point where they're like violent riots and constant fucking protests.
Yeah.
And it's nowhere near... There's levels to this game, Josh. And we're at one of the bottom pegs.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So I don't think you're going to get sacked for putting a feminism tagline.
I also find it mad, and I know I'm not high up enough in an industry to care, but I find it mad that they can hold you accountable for what you say outside of work.
Yeah, they can hold you accountable on
It's crazy.
anything.
It's mental.
Yeah, like, if it's related to the company, they're completely
or if it's your, like if I was a Britain First type character and I was saying, you know what I mean, all certain race of person die, or all certain race of person is...
That's criminal, isn't it?
Yeah, right. And well, then if I was saying stuff like anti-feminist or like against women, like I think women are lazy. Like I'm joking right now. Please don't quote me on this. I think women are lazy. I think women don't deserve to earn as much. I think just because they want to go off and have children, it doesn't mean they should come back and earn as much as me. I feel like I put in more hours. I feel like blah. Yeah, if I said all them points...
Make my tea and suck my dick.
Yeah, get back to the kitchen. They could single that out and make... You're that sort of person, and we don't want that sort of person in our industry. Especially if you were in a more social conscious... You know what I mean? Because someone could find what you say if you worked for, like... I don't know. You work for a company that comes across as progressive. Someone could find what you're saying on the internet and say, this company's employee is saying X, Y, and Z about, you know what I mean?
I know companies like that check people's social media. I worked for a company that did it, and I know they did it to me.
I find the whole thing insane that anyone can... We're slowly becoming more and more fucking trapped in this weird system.
Yeah, but you need to... I feel like now, you need to get ahead of the game and realise that everything you say on the internet, even the things you click, if you're not running it through some sort of thing that hides your IP address. Like, you're leaving a footprint, you know what I mean? Like a virtual footprint of yourself.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't care.
Football, yeah, but you know what I mean? You get a high-powered job, you're successful.
I'm never going to be a high-powered
You
bell
might
end.
do, mate. Something
I don't
might
want
happen.
to be.
Something might happen. You might go...
5 years' time, we're going to say, you've changed, man.
One of them real, like, odd ideas you have, one of them might just bang.
Right,
Do you know
and
what
if I
mean?
get a really high-powered company, I'll run it like a normal company.
Yeah, and then someone goes back through your tweets and goes, the person that runs this company said X, Y, and Z in 2007,
Yeah,
and
I'll
that
say,
doesn't align with my views now or anyone else's views in the public. If you support that company, you agree with his views, yeah? And then everyone ridicules that company. Fucking, you're open. It might be some major point in the company where you're trying to break from one to the other. You put all your money into it or something, and you end up like physically fucked. And all the work you've ever worked for from one tweet in 2007 gets blown up out the water.
Or you tweet out, yes, I did say that in 2007. I don't see the issue. And then all the people that are normal still buy your product because they think it's ridiculous.
No, because they might get pressured from the people that are against it.
Who? Right,
the world.
No, let me tell. Right.
The
Wait
world.
Wait,
It does, though, doesn't it? If
three-
someone
right,
famous comes out like Oprah and says this person's really bad and you shouldn't support them.
But wait there. There's 3 people in this room. If Oprah told you not to use a product right now, would you listen?
Yeah, but I'm not Oprah. I'm not one of her followers.
Oh, right, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, but
I don't.
who
I
are
don't
you a
value
big fan of?
her. I don't know.
Joe
Obviously-
Rogan. He loves Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
It looks more and more like him by the day. So
He was literally swinging a kettlebell before we started
and
this
he's
podcast.
going to fully sleeve up both arms soon, and that's it. Anyway, so you modelled your life
His
around
cruise
Joe.
answer.
And
Triggered him.
he is Cruise Joe Rogan, isn't he?
He's a fucking legit grappler, MMA enthusiast, ball.
Kettlebell,
Swings
bow and
kettlebells
arrow.
before a podcast.
He's bought a bow and arrow.
I want a bow and arrow, to be fair.
And he's got his own studio now. Right, anyway, so Joe, talk to me. What I'm saying is...
He's muting you. It's undeniable. It's not, I'm joking. Don't mute me. Don't.
What I'm saying is if Joe Rogan turned around tomorrow, and you've got a lot of respect for him, regardless of the joke, like, and he turned around and said, this company has done something wrong, and he told you what it was, and you didn't even, like, and you were just like, wait there, I don't want Joe Rogan to tell me what to buy, you'd still buy it. A normal people would still buy it.
A normal people. Yeah. That people do that when they feel
Right,
like
I could find
when they're losing an argument, they take the mick out of the way someone says something. Maybe, but I feel like it'd make me look at it a bit closer, or it'd make me, I'd respect his point of view, so I would turn around and go, well, maybe he's got a point here, and then I would, without thinking, if it was something I didn't buy every day, if it was something just a commodity, I may just stay clear of it and just be like, I can't be asked to look into this, blah. But there's also things that I don't agree with people like on, but there are not mindless, but there are people out there that would follow someone's opinion without questioning it.
Right, but Metallica, right, the lead singer at Metallica shoots elephants and all sorts of shit, and I'm not into that.
But
right?
you still listen to Metallica.
But I still like Enter Sandman.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Michael Jackson got accused for being a paedophile. Everybody still fucking likes Thriller. So let's
everybody. You will like
Thriller's
it.
not one of mine.
All right, but whatever. But bad.
Yeah, but whatever. I think you can agree that someone's.
No,
like,
I know people can sway
magical.
opinion.
Yeah.
People can sway opinion. But what I'm saying is that if you want,
I just think you need to be conscious of what you're putting on the internet right now.
if you've got
And
a
if
core
it's
audience,
just
though,
I mean, sometimes I think of something ridiculously stupid or funny, put it on my Twitter, and I think, you know what I mean? Maybe I shouldn't have put that on Twitter because it's just proper daft.
I tell you what, if you want to put anything stupid on any social media, put it on the Apes podcast and put my name at the bottom of it because I don't give a fuck.
I think there's a difference between daft and genuinely offensive. Like, you see footballers getting
Collared,
fined and collared, but they're saying bad shit, they're saying racist shit, they're saying homophobic shit, they're being bellends. There's a difference between being bellends.
Yeah, but what
and
gay
being
men?
daft.
What gay men 5 years ago, as to like it was literally at school you'd say, you know what I mean, do you want to go play tag? And
No,
then
that's
I go,
gay.
no, that's gay. And now, what if someone said to me at work, how about you go use that fax machine instead of this one? Nah, that's gay. walking over there. That's too much effort. It's gay. Someone would turn around and be like, if someone was gay, they'd most probably be triggered by that.
Yeah, I think that's a generational thing though.
So imagine what's going to happen in 5 years' time.
But it's everything like that is dying. Like I think
I don't know.
But the thing is, right,
dying out.
So
you don't see as many people calling each other a faggot or
you can't predict.
saying
Yeah, but
that's
I've said that in
or-
2007, and then someone looks back at it in 2027,
right?
and
then
sees that I was
so
using-
they go back 20 years.
Yeah,
they
but
look back.
but
I'm
they're
like,
not going to turn around and go, well, he was a different person.
No. But what I'm saying is, the people that will be offended by that won't even be your generation.
Yeah, but they still might be buying my product. Still might be. You know what I mean? I still might rely on them as a customer base.
But what I'm saying
Delete
is,
the tweet.
you don't
Preempt it. Go back through your Twitter page.
Make
a new Twitter.
What I'm saying is, if people can't, I'd rather have say we had a company that made 500 grand a year, and all the people, like the community based around the company, was normal people, interesting people that could accept a joke, like Extreme Bean Coffee.
Yes.
Right? So Extreme Bean, he's putting up porn memes, he's fucking around all the time,
Memes are still
he's
class.
dicking around,
Yeah.
he rocks up on here and he's talking mad shit and having a laugh and all that, right?
Yeah.
People are still buying his coffee
Yeah.
in the bucket load, right?
Yeah.
Now, would he? I could. I've only met the guy once, and I wouldn't want to speak for him. But I'd imagine Sean would rather have a company that makes 500 grand a year, but had a community like that around it, where work was fun,
Yeah.
than a company that made £1 million a year, but he was fucking constantly worried about what he said and who he was offended and which people are going to buy his customers and how many customers he's going to piss off if he posts a porn meme and all the other shit. Like, I'm sure if you asked him and you said, really, do you want to deal with all the ramifications of a bunch of bellends buying your product and being upset and making a bit more money, or do you want your community that you've got now and you're making half the money, but you're going to have an easier life in terms of what you can and can't say, who you can talk to, how you talk to each other in the office, and all the other shit, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm sure he would probably turn around and say, I'd rather the easy life in the office, be able to post my porn memes, and make a little bit less money, because it keeps my passion project a passion project, not a job.
Yeah.
So that's what if I created a company and one of my stupid ideas took off, that's what I'd want. I wouldn't want to go global where I had to fucking worry about upsetting someone who's identifying as a fox today, and I've posted a fucking meme about fucking foxes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I couldn't give a fuck if they don't send me any money ever again if I don't have to deal with that sort of bullshit. Like, that would be my own honest opinion on it.
So do you think that's what happened to Vice as a company?
Yeah,
Vice have notoriously, when they first started out, it was Sam Smith or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Is it Sam?
It's not Sam Smith. It's
I know he's a singer. But
it's Summit Smith.
Yeah.
Shane Smith.
Shane Smith, that's the guy. He was doing risky stuff, writing articles that were compelling.
He was fucking around in the Congo.
And now all of a sudden, the classic Vice, and it's a joke on the Vice. I like to go on Vice articles just to read the comments, because so many people just hate Vice. It's so funny.
Vice was brilliant.
But it's just
like
classic
the lad
stuff
Bible.
like, boys, why don't you be open to having a finger in your ass? That's like a classic, style of. Aaron, don't look at me like that.
He's
That's
well
like
open.
A classic style of their sort of what would you call it? Article.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just say random stuff like, men might as well now bang transsexuals, like stuff like that.
But back in the day, Vice was like, here's Shane Smith running around the Congo talking to warlords, and you're like, fuck. And then they were.
So do you think they went mainstream and then got to a point where they just brought on loads of young people and they were like, just set, like, briefed them? Like, Shane obviously can't see what every single person's doing, so he's just like, we need news, create news. So go find news, and then all of a sudden the company just gets lost along the way.
Well, exactly that, because originally they'd talk about weird things, like they'd go on and find like some guy that was doing ketamine in a fucking float tank, and they'd go talk to him, and now they'll only talk to, like, they'll still talk about drugs occasionally and try and stay edgy, but they'll just talk to a guy that's legally selling weed in California. And then go like, that fills that quota. Like corporate. Before, it's very corporate and very like and they all got done, didn't they, for the fucking boys' club atmosphere in the office? Did you see about that?
Yeah.
But like, it was a boys' club.
Yeah.
It was a bunch of fucking blokes that originally run a trainer magazine.
Imagine if you turn round and imagine if you put cameras in like Joe.com or Lad Bible or
Lad Bible is probably all of them.
The start of Lad Bible, I guarantee they're doing blow. They definitely got some sort of strippers or something. It's going to be like a Jordan Belfort style party.
I'd say after
it's going to have to be.
I'd say Lad Bible started with one lad writing them stupid speeches.
Got big off meme. They just used to post pictures of memes.
Yeah, and the commandments. That
the classic call to the pub and all that shit.
And now they are a bit left.
Not a bit left, mate. Yeah. The other day they were like talking about somebody body shaming Rihanna. And like how fucking insane it was, and the article wasn't even.
Didn't have any merit to it.
There was no body shaming going on. It was basically some people had took photos of Rihanna on a beach.
Yeah. Do you reckon they'll have to change the name?
It should just be called fucking Feminist Bible now.
No, not quite that.
No, it's got well back.
The human Bible? I don't know. What do they change it to? You can't call it Lad
the
Bible.
Non-binary Bible.
It's just because the Americans might not think that...
Should we start the non-binary Bible? I mean, I have enough free time to run this sort of social media site. We don't even post on our social media.
It's mad. It's mad. All the things... If
there's any people out there that are keen, not young, you don't have to be young, but keen to just like start popping on social media and share the same sort of views as us, hit us up, because we do want to take this other places. We need
a social media.
We have two really lazy people and one person that can't do everything.
We've triggered Josh. Well, he triggered himself.
We've triggered Joe.
I feel like, but Joe.com, I loved how they had a proper run up at it. You know what I mean? They must have sat back and gone. Someone must have invested in that, because they sat back and they were like, we're going to preempt things that happen in the news. We're going to make little videos. We're going to smash it. Joe.com was an astronomical ride. Like, Lad Bible came out of nothing, but Joe.com was thought, it was planned out.
Yeah. The thing is with Joe.com, they've kind of stayed true to what they do. They still make them ridiculous videos. Yeah. They still crack jokes.
They don't write silly articles about anything.
No, they write. What they do is they do some clickbaity shit about like, what's Conor McGregor doing now?
We do clickbaity stuff though, where we've named our podcast on Facebook this week. Feminism dies in 2017 or something like that, or Feminism so 2017, because we do want people to click on it.
I understand that.
That's like 5 or 6 different people click on this episode where. I don't know, clickbait done in the right sense is alright.
What I get with what I'm saying is with Joe.com, they might do clickbaity articles about news, but there is a market for clickbaity articles about news for certain people. Certain people want to know what Conor McGregor had for breakfast every single day.
Yeah.
And if they can find that out and put an article on it and get clicks, then fair play to them.
Even if they don't find out, they just speculate.
They still post the videos and the shit that got them to the dance, which that's what I like about them.
Yeah.
Vice can go fuck off now.
I'm trying to remember some of the old Lad Bible commandments. They were fucking.
Vice is so left, and Lad Bible's left as fuck. It should be called Left Bible.
There you go.
The Left Bible.
That's the Left Bible.
I don't know. Maybe we are going left. Maybe we're just too. Because I wouldn't even say I'm right. I don't even know where I stand.
Do you know what? Until all this shit kicked off, I thought I was pretty liberal and I thought I was pretty left wing.
There's levels to this.
It's mad, isn't it? Because I was fucking well happy when Jeremy Corbyn was trying to do the damn thing, and I'm fucking. And I've never had a problem with anyone of any race, colour, creed, fucking religion, like sexuality. Never in my life.
Cisgender.
Yeah.
No, but I've never bothered with any of that shit my entire life, and then now they fucking force it down everyone's throats so much.
They're taking it to levels
that just annoy people that would be on their side. That's the thing. I'd be on their side if they weren't just trying to make everything so difficult.
Does it boggle your mind that some people out there are sitting there thinking these people aren't taking it far enough?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like the guy, like the medical lecturer that argued against, again, Jordan Peterson. One, you know what I mean, where he said there's actually no biological basis for gender, and I can unpack that for you anytime, but we don't have time right now. Like, conveniently, there wasn't enough time for him to explain it, and he just said something so fucking ridiculous, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
That is literally the only bit about that at all, that there's no basis, because so many people have said it.
Yeah.
They're saying that it's the way that kids are raised in schools athletically, and the kind of things the kind of interest they get pushed into doing through society and through the parents and all that kind of thing. But at the end of the day,
Am I a boy because I'm wearing blue?
No, but at the end of the day,
No, that's that.
Have you ever
That's
met
that
a girl?
famous meme, innit? Yeah.
Have you ever met a girl who looks like Frances Ngannou?
I mean, there's that
No.
girl that they tried to. Oh, she wasn't a girl, though, was she? That Olympics girl that was that sprinter that used
She
to
was
be.
a
Was she
girl.
used to be a man, or
yeah, no, she was.
had a high test,
She had ridiculously high tests,
but
yeah.
naturally occurring
yeah,
high test.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
she was not Frances Ngannou.
But she was the female version.
She wasn't though, was she? She got fucking 6'5".
She was a
300
beast.
fucking pounds.
She was a beast.
She was a beast, but
sprinting
I've said
beast.
it 3 times, but there's levels to this game.
Yeah, I know. And then Francis stands next to a basketball player and looks cute.
They don't look cute. He just looks short. I'm sure even
If
he.
you wanted to have super babies, though, you'd get Francis Ngannou and Serena Williams,
yeah,
wouldn't
but
you?
he couldn't.
And
sing,
you'd create some sort of superhuman.
No, because he couldn't single leg LeBron James.
I don't think he could single leg anyone after his fight with Streep.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I had something in my head
Steel
then, and then
pitch.
you went on about. Oh, do you know?
fucking
Do you know what? Do you know what?
Fucking stupid.
Do you know what? I used
Put it
to.
in your mouth.
I used to like you know certain shit TV that you just don't mind watching for an hour.
Go.
Yeah, right. So I used to watch Catfish just to laugh at the fucking
Oh.
morons on there.
Nah, Neve on Catfish is legit. I
Right.
think he's.
Neve was legit. The other day I turned on a program, turned on Catfish, new series. I thought, oh, some new fucking weirdos to laugh at. So I was all settled down. Opening show, Neve and what's his name, Max, sat there round the laptop as normal. Camera pans up. Neve's wearing a T-shirt that says "feminist" full stop, and then Max has got a Black Lives Matter T-shirt on.
Why are they doing that on the show?
Yeah.
Well, so I'm just sat there going, just turn it off. Just I can't.
Virtue signaling on their
It's
own
just
TV
got
show.
it's got so. I mean, look.
So to me, like Neve's trying to bang a feminist, and Max is trying to bang some black girl.
Just the thing. The thing with me is like
They're both like working that angle.
I've got no. The theory behind feminism and Black Lives Matter, like the core of it, if you really took the whole
How
idea,
do you pinpoint the core?
because the core is equality for all, and the core is stop the police shooting more black people than white people, in both of those arguments, and you'd sit there and go, I'd rather the police didn't disproportionately shoot one race,
Yep.
and you'd sit there and go, I'd rather everybody was equal and happy. They're both at the core of them, great ideas. But they've gone to some sort of level where it's all ridiculous, and where two fucking middle-aged hipsters are sat on TV wearing the fucking slogans to try and get people on MTV to like them a bit more.
Yeah.
I don't think Black Lives Matter has gone quite to the level.
No, it hasn't. No,
It's not gone quite as far.
And
And
I think you just
I'd-
get bad
I'd-
eggs in everything, don't you? Like they say, oh yeah, Black Lives Matter riots, and they
I don't
smashed
think-
up
no,
cars
I don't
and did
think they
this and
did.
did that.
I still think it's not that whole thing where the government sending people to disrupt
There's a really
protests.
very, very
Whoa.
good chance of it.
Ooh,
Massively.
really?
I
They
think
got
every
got
time there's a
proven that they
peace,
did it.
I think every time there's a peaceful protest that people start rioting, I'd say 90% that if it's something that the government are really struggling
What, they like have a crack team of
they're
people
just-
that are
yeah,
they're employed
just-
or whatever,
yeah.
and it hasn't come
special
out.
forces, it has come out. It
Not
was-
every
it-
time.
Not every time, because it wouldn't, would it? If it's special forces, lads,
Because when they had
you don't know where anyone in the SAS is right now.
Not that I can. Not that I can. talk about.
yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So if you got some special forces lads and just said go break some windows and get them lot fired up,
Yeah.
because the government, it's always the peaceful
But
protest.
what happens when they have them YouTube videos that pinpoints people, takes photos of them doing stuff,
right? No,
and
because
then
people,
traces
no,
them
because,
back
right? Because
into like they're part of this
'cause it's
Facebook
gang
group, that
mentality.
Facebook group.
because that's gang mentality.
Oh, it's gang mentality. We just gang raped her because it's
no,
just
I'm
gang
not on
mentality.
about. Where have you got
Yeah,
a
but
rape
like
from?
gang mentality isn't just something
It's a
you
real
can just,
thing.
Yeah, but it's not an excuse.
Right? Would you go out? Right, when you were 15, would you have gone out on the streets and egged a house on your own?
I don't know. It depends what they've done to me.
No, just randomly egging houses for a laugh.
Most probably Halloween. I was a bit
No,
of a tit.
you wouldn't have done it. No, you wouldn't have done it on your own.
Now you're gonna get sacked.
What?
What I'm saying is you wouldn't have walked out the house on your own, bought eggs on your own, and then run round the streets throwing eggs at houses.
Well, I might have instigated stuff like that.
No, but you'd have been involved in it in a group.
I know what gang
Because
mentality is.
yeah.
I've seen Darren Brown. I just feel like
Takes
it's
a real
very
psycho to do that on their own as well.
it's very sort of, I don't know, you don't know.
He's done it.
No, but what I'm saying is you're in a big group, right? You're all fired up because you passionately believe in this thing you're
I understand
protesting.
that, yes, and then
people
someone
start
smashing
smashing
cars
windows, and
or
you
something.
go, "Oh fuck!" And then
This
before
is
you
what
know
we're
it,
doing now,
everyone's
but
doing
then
it.
maybe, yeah, but I don't feel like that validates your point. So why are you doing that? Because if you're there and you're saying
it's a natural
this is
human
piece,
reaction.
no, I don't think it's an excuse.
Right, you go to the football and it
That's
all
not an
kicks off, and
excuse.
you're stood in the middle of it.
It's
Do you
not an
run away or
excuse.
do you start throwing punches?
No, I don't think I'm going to
start
start
throwing
stoving in
punches.
some random fans.
No, but if
No.
someone starts swinging round you, you start swinging back for
No,
someone.
I feel like I just get out of there. I
Duck
don't
and roll,
think I'm
bro.
that.
Duck and roll.
I don't think I'm that.
I don't know. I just think
that
you
way
get
inclined.
dragged into these sorts of things.
No, I don't think gang mentality can ever be an excuse for your actions, ever.
I agree.
I don't think gang mentality can ever
I
be
think
an
it's a
excuse.
real thing.
It might be a real
think
thing,
it's a
but I don't
real
think it's
thing.
an excuse. If I singled you out and said you did X, Y, and Z, and you were like, "Well, everybody else was doing it," you know what I mean? That no, I'm not going to turn around and go, "Yeah, I feel sorry for him because everyone around him was doing that."
No,
No,
I'm not saying
I-
feel sorry for anyone. What
No, but
I'm
you're
saying is,
you're saying it's an excuse.
no, I'm saying
Oh,
it's instigated.
What do you mean instigated?
It's saying that they're playing on that. They're playing that people, whether
I'm
it's
not saying
whether
it's an excuse or right or wrong. What I'm saying is that there's people that people know psychologically, if it all kicks off in a gang, people act up in a gang.
Yes, you're going to get the odd balls that are going to go.
Right,
but
and
then
so-
most probably in their heads, they're sitting and thinking, yes, I
Right.
wanted to smash
So
that.
say-
Or, yes, I wanted
no,
to do
no,
that.
so
no.
They're inclined to do
he's
that.
saying they're
If
acting.
we're in a gang and we want... We're not in a gang.
I'm
we're
saying
in a
s-
protest about something, you know, that means a lot to us. I'm trying to just put variables
Yeah.
out there, so not to single out any sort of protest or nothing. We're in a situation in a group where we're protesting something, and someone starts kicking off and smashing stuff up. If that doesn't link with what I'm feeling, I don't feel like I'm gonna go. I feel like if
But
you get too far away from the subject,
you're right in what you're saying, but what I think Batch is saying.
yeah, but
is
I
that
shouldn't feel sorry
it's
for
not-
them.
I'm not saying- no,
He's not saying
sorry
wait,
for
no,
him.
He's not saying that. He's not saying that it's right. He's not saying that it's wrong. He's saying that
it happens.
That happens, and they're trying to make it happen in order to make that
Yeah, but then
they're acting.
You
on
turn a
hu-
peaceful protest into a violent protest, you can send the police in, and then you can discredit the whole statement
Yeah.
by saying they got violent,
Yeah.
right? So if you can
So then that's just another ploy for the government
to break down a protest,
Yeah,
so they
then
can they can.
So
then,
once it's happened once, or you have someone there that's intellectual, knows that government does that, then you just turn around and say on the Facebook group or the WhatsApp or wherever it's set up, look, people are going to try and make this violent. We need to stand out and say that we're not about the violence. We don't want X, Y, and Z. If you see anyone being violent, stop them, extinguish that situation, ask them what the fuck they think they're doing, because this isn't helping at all. And then distance yourself from them actions.
Yeah.
And then push the message
But
even
right,
further.
let's-
And don't let the government try and shroud our message with
let's say
these
there was
sort of
100.
things.
Let's say
Not
there was
jump in and start
100,000
smashing
people.
up cars.
Say there was 100,000 people at one of them Black Lives Matter riots, because
Yeah.
they're the ones we're talking about,
Yeah.
right?
Or
I'd
maybe, I
say-
don't know.
Well, that's where we started.
Yeah.
There's
I'd say there was probably about 500 people kicking off out of 100,000. So 5% of the people were that fired up that something triggered them when they seen other people doing it. Triggered in the sense of they started acting up as well.
Yeah.
So 5% of 100,000 people
I think it's
are bell ends, right?
0.25.
0.25. No, 100,000, 5,000. Oh, 500, yeah. So it's not even that.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
that's...
Yeah, but they're going to make a bigger shit stain on the whole thing, so I feel like the people around them should be grabbing them and saying,
It should be.
do you believe
No,
in
no.
our cause? Because you're just
but
really
some
going to
people
shroud
aren't
us.
aggressive enough to do that,
No,
aren't
Yeah,
they?
but if you believe in your cause, and I don't know.
They should be, but the fact is they're not that well organised, and
You can't
whether
organise
it's right or
100,000
not-
people to do the exact things you want them to do at every second of that
But
day.
they all have the same belief.
yeah, if
Yeah,
they
they
don't,
do.
but they don't.
But some
they
of them
might
are
not
so
have the same
passionate
No, but
and
they
get
don't.
so angry about
No,
things.
That's passion and anger isn't an excuse.
Yes,
in
it
my
is.
books.
No, but no, it's not an excuse.
Right,
no,
so
it's
you
not an
walk...
excuse.
wait there. Passion and anger aren't an excuse, but you walk in and someone's shagging your missus, you did them.
Yeah, that's
Well,
completely
but you're
different.
because you're passionate. No, because that's exactly the same. You're really passionate about your love for your missus. Someone's fucking ruined that for you. You get angry and fucking lash out. These people are getting shot in streets,
I'm
mate. They're
passionate
gonna
about
get
good
angry.
croissants as well, but I'm not.
No, you're not passionate about good croissants. You like a good croissant. The thing is, if your community was getting shot regularly, you would be very fucking fired up about it when you were arguing about it. And very fired up. Yeah. And then a bunch of bellends.
We can't put ourselves in that situation, and we're just surmising on what we think. But I think that if I'm a human being and I'm a person and I believe in these values, I don't feel like I would riot like them riots.
Okay.
What were the riots that were in London? And then some people Chav started doing it in Crewe. What was that thing that kicked off?
Oh, a guy got shot by the police.
Yeah, that was it.
Again.
But most people.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden people jumped on these bandwagons and started looting.
But that was people are different though. People aren't as level-headed as you. That's why mob mentality is a real thing, because not all people think.
And I think in some mobs, people in the right situation, I'd most likely follow the mob. I'm not saying I wouldn't.
What I'm saying is, if your one of your cousins got shot,
that's why we have things like Black Friday and all that.
If one of your cousins got shot, or one of your friends got shot by a copper down your street, and you knew he was doing nothing wrong, and then you were at a protest and people started kicking off, then the police show up, then you're angry at the police already and they're now bashing people, then you get more fired up because you're watching them do what they've done already.
Whether it's right or wrong, it's a real
it's a real thing.
Yeah, I understand. I do see it being a real thing. I just don't think it's an excuse.
I don't think it's an excuse. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I can understand how people get to that point and why the government would try and break up protests using that technique. And that's what I think they do.
Is it tried and proven?
You get a gang of people acting up, more people will act up.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
You started acting up and Batch got really red and started acting up even more.
I think we put the world to rights. So
the world is correct again.
And we've gone for a while.
We'll go back comedy next week because this was gone too serious.
Hour and 20, something like that. Oh. Cheers to everyone that's interacted and watched it on Facebook Live. Thanks to everyone that's listening to the podcast. Our numbers are getting back up to pre-December time where we had our little, low break or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, cheers.
Check out P-Bell's upped his game on qualified nutrition.
What on YouTube?
I wanted to say that. Yeah, he's doing big things.
He's part of the bold community.
Qualified nutrition, P-Bell Fitness.
He's bold, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. It's all that bodybuilding.
But you're not.
Hashtag bold. Hashtag slapheads for life.
Hashtag manpower.
Hashtag bold power.
Hashtag cruise Joe Rogan.
Hashtag batch. Fucking play another tune.
Hashtag bow and arrow for life. Hashtag kettlebells. Hashtag keto.
Hashtag eat what you hunt. Eat what you kill.
This has been Educated Apes Podcast. Get us at www.educatedapes.com, Educated Apes on Twitter, educatedapes.com on Instagram, Educated Apes on Twitter, Educated Apes on Facebook, all them good places, Instagram, iTunes, Stitcher, on YouTube. Yeah. See you later. Peace. Just say goodbye, or are you going to say more slurs?
It's peace. Hashtag Black Lives Matter.